It's just like, wow.
I have no idea what time it is, but I know I slept in because I'm so tired from yesterday. Today there was a lot to do. So we better get to it. Okay, today is a new day. I am pretty exhausted from yesterday, but I'm determined to make this one a good one. We are headed out to Aurora PDX to freeze my face, which I'm really excited about. Morning chat time. Yesterday was a little bit tough, in all honesty. I used to definitely being behind the camera, and I love being behind the camera, and I definitely make sure, for whatever reason, to make pictures of myself on occasion, because I think it's really easy, especially for photographers, to lose empathy with just how hard it is to pose and to feel confident in front of the camera if you're an everyday person. For me, what's hard to even imagine is that I have all these years, I kiss the ceiling when there's yellow light. I have all these years of knowing how to pose, understanding from behind the camera what needs to happen, because there is a weird 3-dimensional to 2-dimensional thing that happens, and you have to understand how to flatten your shape in a way that really makes sense and is dynamic, so you're not foreshortening too much and you get weird, long and distorted, all that kind of stuff. But wow, it is so hard. The feelings of confidence are fleeting. Usually people who are having their portrait made by me, I love how this is swinging so much. They're in my hands, so I can do everything. I can tai chi their energy, I can make them feel comfortable, I can really make sure that they are showing up in the best way possible. They look confident, they look cool, like all these things. For myself, I was in my own hands, and it was really tough. It was a lot of mind games, and in all honesty, I don't think I did that good of a job when it came to my attitude. And if you watch the footage from yesterday, you can see my body language. I spent a lot of the day dejected, so I did go over the images last night, and we have a few which are good, and that's all we need. That was a really good experience in reminding myself just how hard it is, and really having empathy for people who are being brave and making pictures of themselves. Look at how crazy foggy it is today. I am on this bridge and you can't see anything. It's crazy. Very animated with my eyebrows, so it's like the lines up here, and also I feel like I have very deep set eyes, so whenever I smile, like I'm starting to really see like activation here. So those were like, and then there's like the symmetry. So I don't know if you can see it now, because I like kind of flex. I'm trying to train myself to flex and be
Don't work too hard.
But
yeah, that's what Botox is for.
Yes. But this one tools. Really is like,
that's fine. Yeah, everyone has an eyebrow that pulls harder, and no one's eyebrows are symmetrical. Because Botox can do so much, but we still need some great shaping. And you're bringing me a beautiful shape. But they are asymmetrical, and everyone's are. They all are. So we want to soften sometimes the asymmetry, but we're usually not going to be able to fix it. So let's soften but not fix. Because as you know, beautiful people are actually not symmetrical. If you take Angelina Jolie and you split her in half and you put her 2 thin sides together and 2 thick sides together, you know, one side she looks all beefcake and the other side she needs a hamburger. In the middle with her asymmetry, she's actually gorgeous. Unfortunately, over the last 10, 15 years, we've taught people that being frozen is the goal. My job is to make you not make a wrinkle. I feel like frozen isn't the goal. Like I move a little bit, but I'm not making wrinkles. I have no static wrinkles, which is what we're trying to prevent, because static wrinkles are permanent signs of skin damage. It's the breakdown of that collagen. So when we Botox, not only are we decreasing the appearance of the wrinkles with animation, but we're decreasing that breakdown of the collagen that create the static lines that show aging. Okay, so that's the goal. That's the goal, and to make it look natural. And I like my kids to know that I'm mad at them. So, you know, so for all the moms out there, I'm like, let's make you not make wrinkles when your kids know that you're mad. And then it's a home run.
So for me, it's all this, but I like how, because obviously I have like hooded eyelids, and I like how this
one that is flexing a lot is just kind of, my eye feels more open.
Yeah.
And this one, like if I freeze this one, if I kind of lift that one, they get closer to matching.
So anytime we inject the forehead, invariably it's going to lead to less support in the forehead. So when people are like, I want you to put Botox here and get me an eyebrow lift. Well, I can't do that. These are all designed to lift. I put Botox in, it decreases the muscle movement and it creates depression. Okay? So we have to be strategic about where we place it, and we can do that, but no matter what, if you treat this, it will lead to some descent. Okay. So how do we counteract it? Well, good news is that the muscle here, the orbicularis oculi muscle, is a puller downer muscle. And when we release it, it goes up. You do have some lifting over here because I can see the muscle activity. So I want to leave as much of this as possible and also treat over here so that, because this pulls down and when I let it go, we should get a little bit of up. So I'm going to put some Botox here. Now it's dependent on how much muscle activity you have. For like in this area here and then like down here, is because you do have more fullness here and your vermilion border needs some love. So yeah, that's a totally, doable thing. Now will it be, until we start playing, I never know exactly how it's going to go. Everyone's lips are a little different, and sometimes I'm totally blown away at what I can achieve, and others I'm like, oh well, that was easy. So absolutely. For your bottom lip, it's pretty straightforward. Is just to come in and put some in here. The top lip you have a beautiful shape, a lovely defined vermilion border, Cupid's bow. Like, you have really great structure to build on. So I think it could be super fun to come in and just like pop it and make.
This is so much less scary and so much nicer than I thought it was going to be, just from having like one really bad experience. Yeah, I'm excited and I'm fascinated because the face has like all of this underlying structure to it and all of these things, and when you take away the emotional element, it's fascinating to see how the face can change and like what you have and how to emphasize and de-emphasize things, and it's kind of like what I do as a photographer actually. So I feel like we're like in sync in that way, that people who for a living look at people.
Put your eyebrows together. Good. Got it. And then if you squint really tight, can you make your eyebrows meet? Oh, wait. Hang on. Got it. All right, same thing on the other. So the biggest risk to lip filler is that you don't love it. The good news is that it's one, it doesn't last forever, and it is reversible. But I ask everyone to wait at least 4 weeks to let things settle out, because lip filler is lumpy and bumpy. When it first goes in, you'll be nice and swollen, it'll look great. Then over the next couple days, you'll start to see that it can look a little uneven. But then over the 2 to 4 weeks, it integrates into your tissue, and those lumps and bumps almost always resolve. So I'm just drawing it up. I use insulin syringes. These are little tiny insulin syringes, the same thing that diabetics use. So I want to give you a little bit of a brow lift here. Squint again. I want to treat this a little bit, and then I'm going to come under here and treat this. This could be pretty bruisey for you just because you're a little bit swollen.
Okay.
But you pull all the way under here, and and since you don't like those wrinkles, I want to put some here, here, and here as well. You're like, this is your taller side, this is your thinner side. The other thing is we don't want to get sausagey, so we're going to keep all our volume midline. You have good support here. But you're right, you're just flat here more than anything. Let's pop that out. But I'm going to, there's some tricks in my toolbox. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. She does not love my Christmas rock. She wouldn't change it. I feel like we have really beautiful, natural looking lips. So let's take a look.
Wow.
A nice crisp border. We defined your Cupid's bow. And I didn't even put that much in there.
Wow.
and they're swollen.
Bye. You were the best. I'm really excited. This was amazing.
Thank you. All right,
Have a good one. Wow, that was such an experience. She was just so thoughtful and understanding, and I felt like was interested in my concerns, and like also, which is so sweet, like I do this myself when you just really highlight the special qualities in someone. And so there were just these little moments when she was like, oh my gosh, your forehead movement is so interesting, I love it, all of this kind of stuff that just makes you feel special. And that goes so far. I absolutely love her energy, all the things, and I'm really excited to see how everything shake out. All right, back to the place, have a meeting, retouching photos, another meeting.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I look crazy because I just got my lips done. So just, this isn't my everyday Tuesday look.
I think you look amazing per usual. So whatever.
It's like weirdly making me really emotional because it's like I've always, like I was totally teased as a kid for my lips, whatever, blowfish lips, da-da-da-da-da. But the thing that's always really been hard for me is that my lips are pressed forward by my teeth. And so it's only like in the center that they push out and not like at the top, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but yesterday it was really, really difficult because my mouth, like I couldn't really feel like I could close my mouth very well, or like it's just my mouth, like that was the thing, it kept going back to my mouth, like it just didn't really have very much expression, and especially because you couldn't see my eyes, it was just suboptimal really a lot. And then in getting this done, it just feels like, wow, I feel so much better. I mean, even though like technically right now I look crazy, I could tell like it just really solved it. And there's a part of me that feels weird and like vain about that. Like, why do you need to be pretty and whatever? Like I'm giving into something, but then also I legitimately feel so much better. Like this is literally something I've been teased about since I was like 5. And, I don't know. I think I'm like just really being hit with just how hard yesterday was for me. And then in this weird way, like it's counterbalanced by something better, like I feel way better and kind of relieved, but I also am like, fuck, I wish I would have had it done yesterday because it would have eliminated so much if I could just like rest my mouth closed without all of this drama, And I just am like nervous also that I feel like people are going to judge me, even though like, again, it's like, who cares and whatever, all of this stuff that I know to be true. Like I still feel like I was nervous to even send you a picture, even though I know they're super swollen. It's just like, here she is in like 2 months. She's gotten her eyebrows microbladed. She's gotten her lips done. And it just feels like selling out in a weird way. But it honestly makes me feel so much better. Right. I don't know.
That's all that counts. People that are judgmental around it, you may not, as a person, people may not agree with it. They may not understand it or whatever. But it's when they cross that line of judging you for whatever you do with your body. That's your business. And if it makes you feel better, then awesome.
Well, because I'm just really like mad at myself about yesterday. Like, how I really try to keep positive energy on set. And I just like, it was uncomfortable because of how I was, like I just got really quiet and then like was visibly frustrated and, and it was just like, so.
Did you snap at anybody?
Once, but then I immediately apologized. But no, it was just more that like usually like set is fun. Any other situation where I'm photographing somebody, it would have been like an amazing day. But because I was so upset with myself and how I was photographing, like literally my brain has not caught up to the way my body looks right now. Like, so visually seeing it, it's just like, wow. And I feel like a bad feminist in a sense for caring so much. And and then I also am like, well, really, that's super fat phobic to be so upset by your body changing in a way that like, I mean, it's noticeable, but it's not like negative necessarily. You know what I mean?
but
Yeah.
it's just really hard, you know?
Well, like I said yesterday, but now in a different way, maybe be a little more gentle on yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Just be kind to yourself. You're the only you have. This is what you were born with. Whatever you do with it, there's no point in, like, beating yourself up.
So let's talk about beauty standards, because I referenced yesterday's video, which you aren't exactly going to get to see. You've seen sprinkles of it throughout this, because I went to try to edit and I really couldn't even edit it because yesterday was so tough for me that actually reliving it was really tough. Now, I had an amazing crew there, hair and makeup that were phenomenal, a wonderful assistant, and my producer was there. Oh, sorry, I'm wincing, my lips kind of hurt. I've been a photographer for 15 years, so I know how to make a picture. However, throwing myself into the mix was really, really tough, and I had the attention set out during the day of like talking through how to pose if you have a curvier body and all this jazz. And yes, there are a lot of tips for how to pose that I can show you in another video. Comment down below if you're interested in that. But what I wanted to talk about today is how I felt, because I really feel like there's this stigma that we have around bodies, and there's a lot of body positivity happening. And I've been listening to a lot about that, about fat phobia, and about just our relationship to our bodies and the dysmorphia that happens. And that is what I totally experienced yesterday. I have a picture of my mind of how I'm used to looking, and my body doesn't look like that right now. It should be totally okay that my body changes and that it's curvier than it used to be, that it's fatter than it used to be. I have such a hard time with that. As a photographer, I can't tell you how many times I've heard a client say, yes, but let's just wait a few months so I can lose 20 pounds or whatever and I can show up. And I've always pushed back on that because I know that it's better to show up in images. I know that people are really not judging you as much as you think. I know that having an empowered image of yourself can do so much for your confidence. That said, yesterday I was that person. I was that person that didn't feel ready, that felt uncomfortable in her body, and I showed up anyway and I did it. Yes, are there some pictures that look good that make me feel like the job was accomplished? Yes. At the same time, it was a really, really tough experience for me, knowing that there were a lot fewer poses that I could execute that made me feel decent. When it comes to posing, there are a few general rules. If you want to look taller versus shorter, if you want to look thinner versus wider, if you want to look older versus younger, there are just certain ways that the camera picks things up that you can adjust for. For example, in this video right here, I talk about negative space and pulling up through the base of the spine and pushing your chin out. All of these are techniques to help elongate and slim. But the problem is that we want to elongate and slim because of all of this brainwashing that we've had. And really, there isn't a problem with being wider or being shorter. And I know that intellectually. I know a lot of us know that intellectually, but we don't necessarily feel it. And I had somebody bring to my attention today this whole idea of Zoom dysphoria, that because we're operating in these virtual spaces, which I'm all about, like how to show up and be confident and do all of that stuff, what's happening is that we're staring at ourselves and it's creating this warped version where we're feeling frumpy, dumpy, lumpy, all the things. And I really resonate with that because I have the gorgeous light, I have the high quality camera, I have all of that stuff. And generally speaking, I feel okay until we get to my body. And then when it's lower and I'm in like my comfy clothes, I just don't feel as good. So today, when it comes to beauty standards, I just want to remind you that you are totally perfect and you're beautiful and you're amazing. I know that depending on where you are in your journey, depending on how much trauma you had as a kid, you may or may not feel that way. And I know in a lot of my videos, I'm very much about being confident and doing all that stuff and owning who you are and telling anybody who's judging off. But I just also want to say that if you're not feeling confident, I get where you're coming from. I understand. And I think that's okay too. It's okay to say, hey, I have something with my body that brings me a lot of pain and I don't feel as confident. And if that were to change, I would feel better. And whatever that is for you, it's important that you honor that. And it doesn't mean you need to get something changed to feel better, but it's saying that if that will result in you feeling better, that you should do that without fear of judgment. When it comes to gender, I'm very trans adjacent. I have a lot of trans friends, a lot of non-binary friends and family. And there is this real thing about gender dysphoria, that if your body doesn't match your brain, it can cause real harm. And in those situations, they don't just say, we should make it better, go to therapy, make it better. They actually understand that changing your body in certain ways will result in that coherence that then will make you feel like the embodied, beautiful version of yourself.
Editing Gia chiming in really quickly. I just want to make sure it's clear that I'm not equating what I'm experiencing with the trans experience. I, as a cis person, have a lot of privilege, and what I'm dealing with body dysmorphia and just that kind of stuff isn't comparable to trans dysphoria.
And I think about all the wasted energy I've spent in my life in trying to wish it, make it better, trying to get over it, trying to just roll with it. And in 30 minutes, my lips are different and I feel so much better. I mean, right now, obviously, they look crazy. And I know that they're not going to look this way in a week or so. There was something that really always bothered me that went back to how I was teased as a kid, that yesterday in pictures, that when I closed my mouth, the way my lips sat on my teeth really bothered me. And it made it so that I didn't feel like I could give as many expressions and blah, 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 blah. And even just today, riding back in the car, I closed my mouth and it was just like, wow, this is it. Like, I feel so much better, even though I also look like a clownfish. In showing you behind the scenes, I hope it just demystified a little bit and showed you that this person, Suzanne at Aura Aesthetics, just totally rocked my world. It was a beautiful, amazing experience where I really felt seen and heard. And something that's been bothering me since I was a very, very small kid is now changed in a way that I feel more confident. So I'm going to leave it there for today because I have lots of work to do and I'm already behind because I've been vlogging. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and I will see you tomorrow.